I actually think it's going to be a pretty big week for first looks when it comes to Superman. The production is in full swing over in Cleveland, and today we got a whole series of set pictures, which not only include a look at David Cornsweet in action as the Man of Steel, but our very first look at Mr. Terrific, and quite honestly, he looks pretty terrific. Let's break down the new set pictures, talk about what's going on, and why it's going to be a pretty fruitful couple weeks for us Superman fans. Now, before we do that though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, it's finally time. Superman is in full production down in Cleveland, and we are getting a ton of set pictures. Now, a lot of times, closed sets prevent fans from finding out any of the more interesting details about their characters. But every once in a while, there's not much they can do, and now because of that, we got some great looks at some of the costumes in the upcoming movie. Now, to be fair, some of this could be spoiler-ish, so if you don't want any spoilers for the film, I would go ahead and click away now. But all in all, no story details were given away, just some really great details on the costumes. Now, I wanted to give proper credit for some of these pictures. Most of them come via cleveland.com over on X, with others coming from Just Jared. So we just want to be clear where the pictures are coming from because they're not actually ours. So let's start with Edie Kathigi's Mr. Terrific. Now, the character in the comics has been around for a really long time, and Mr. Terrific, whose real name is Michael Holt, made his first appearance in Spectre Volume 3, number 54, back in 1997, and was created by John Ostrander and Tom Mandrake. Now, this isn't the first time he's come to life in live action. Echo Kellum actually played the character in Legends of Tomorrow. But for the Superman movie, James Gunn nabbed Edie Kathigi, and honestly, he looks great in this costume. The costume itself appears to be ripped directly from the comics, and it's a pretty shocking, accurate take on the hero. This does give us an idea of how James Gunn is going to approach the DCU and suggests that he will definitely adhere very closely to the source material when it comes to not only Superman, but many of the other characters. Now, when he's standing with David Cornsweet, I did notice he is a good bit smaller than Superman, probably as he should be. And also, the number of pictures here I find pretty interesting because it kind of suggests that he might have a much bigger role in the film, or at least in this segment, than many of the other supporting characters. I think he's going to be the connective tissue between Superman and the Justice League, and will be the one to present Superman to the League and establish the trust between the two parties. Now, as far as Superman goes, the new costume looks great in the sunlight. It's very, very colorful, something many fans really didn't like about the Man of Steel costume because the colors were so muted in the final product. It definitely looked a little bit different. Now, from these pictures, we have 100% confirmed that the trunks will be part of this costume. I feel like this is something we already sort of knew from previous pictures, but this definitely gives us full confirmation on that issue. And not only do we get the trunks, we get the yellow belt. Now, I have heard some people claiming that the costume looks somewhat like a motorcycle suit, but honestly guys, texturing is needed to make this work, and as we've seen in many other iterations of superheroes, quite often spandex really looks bad on screen, especially given the modern capabilities of film, and these lessons have been ironed out over the last decade. So I trust the suit from that angle. We also got a little bit of a peek at the cape, and it does indeed appear that the logo, just like the classic Donner Superman films, is on the back of the cape, and is something James Gunn has incorporated into the new costume. All in all of these pictures look, well, quite great, and it makes me just more excited for Superman. But I did want you to keep something in mind. Whenever we get set pictures, we want to be really, really careful, because often these get touched up. We got quite a few looks at Sasha Kelly as Supergirl in the Flash production, but by the time that was touched up, the suit looked quite different, and to be fair, the colors themselves got darker, so I would expect some changes in post-production to how some of this looks, but overall it does give us quite the idea of what James Gunn is going for. Now, beyond that, the scene doesn't reveal a lot. I see a lot of soldiers on set, along with James Gunn, so I think this is definitely part of one of the bigger battle scenes. Since the military is already on site, obviously there's a crisis, but beyond that, no story details seem to show up in the pictures. Obviously, we're covering Superman pretty close. It's going to be a big week with the production in Cleveland, and I suspect there's going to be a ton more set pictures. We're going to try to bring them to you, but we're also going to avoid spoilers if possible. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you want to get the Superman news, and we'll keep a close eye on events because I think there's a lot coming our way.